Hey there. Welcome back to So What, a podcast for beginner sewists. Now, whether you've touched a needle and thread before or you've just admired the beautiful creation of others, you've come to the right place. Today, we're going to be diving into the very basics with Sewing 101, your absolute beginner's guide to getting started. Now let's get ready to embark on a fun and rewarding journey into the world of making things with fabric. So you're curious about sewing, which is fantastic. It's a skill that you can be incredibly practical, allowing you to mend your clothes, create unique gifts, and even design your wardrobe. It might seem a little intimidating at first with all of the different tools and terminology, but trust me, it's much more accessible than you think. In today's episode, we'll break down the absolute essentials to get you started on your sewing adventure. Now, let's talk about the basic tools you'll need. And don't worry, you don't need to invest in a huge amount of equipment right away. Here are the must-haves for your budding sewer. First, you'll need hand needles. A variety pack with different sizes and eye shapes is a great starting point. Next, you'll need thread. All-purpose polyester thread is a versatile choice for beginner sewists. You start with few basic colors. It doesn't have to be very fancy. Now you need pins. Straight pins with ball heads are easy to handle and will hold your fabric pieces together. You'll also need scissors. Invest in a good pair of sharp fabric scissors and resist the urge to use them for paper. You might also want a smaller pair for snipping threads. A seam ripper. This little tool is your best friend when you need to undo stitches, and trust me, you will. You'll need a measuring tape, and this is essential for taking measurements and ensuring your projects are the right size. You'll need an iron and ironing board. Pressing your fabric and seam is a crucial step for professional finish. Don't skip this. And you'll also need a basic sewing machine. It's not an immediate need, but you don't need anything complicated. I recommend a computerized machine because it helps with settings and it's friendly to beginner sewists and smaller hands. So choose one with basic stitch options. More on that as we go. And finally, fabric. Start with inexpensive cotton fabric. It's easy. You can work with it and you can do so much more and comes with lots of fun prints. Old sheets or thrift stores are the best place to find good quality cotton fabrics. It's also great for practicing so you don't feel like you're wasting. Okay, so you've got your tools and now let's talk about the fundamentals of sewing. If your ultimate goal is to use a sewing machine, understanding basic hand stitches is incredibly helpful. The two main stitches you'll want to learn first are the running stitch. This is the most basic stitch and it's used for gathering fabric, creating temporary seams, which we sometimes refer to as basting, or simple decorative stitching. To do this, simply push your needle down through the fabric and then bring it back up a short distance away. Repeat this in a continuous motion, creating a series of small, even stitches. Next is the back stitch. The back stitch is much stronger than the running stitch, and it is used for creating permanent seams. Bring your needle up from the fabric, then go down in a short distance behind where your thread just came out. Bring the needle back up again a short distance in front of your first stitch. Continue doing this, always going back to meet the end of the previous stitch. This creates a solid, strong line of stitching. Now you might be eager to jump into a sewing machine. If that's your plan, here are a few things to consider for a beginner-friendly machine. You want one with a basic straight stitch and zigzag stitch. These are the workhorses of sewing and they will cover most of the beginner projects. You also want one with an adjustable stitch length and width, and this gives you more control over your stitches. This is why I mentioned a computerized machine. You want easy bobbing, winding, and loading, and this will save you a lot of frustration. You want one that comes with a user-friendly manual that's well written, because this is invaluable. When you get your machine, take the time to read the manual thoroughly. Practice threading the machine, winding the bobbin, and sewing lines on scrap fabric before tackling an actual project. So what should your first project be? let's keep it simple. Here are a few things that are perfect for beginners. A simple seam pouch. This will help you practice sewing straight lines and finishing edges. Also, a pillowcase, which is mostly straight seams and a simple turning technique. Next, a fabric bookmark. These are a great way to use up small scraps and practice straight stitches. Also, a small drawstring bag, which introduces you to creating a casing. There are tons of free tutorials on my channel for those kinds of beginner projects, and don't be afraid to search and find something that excites you. Now that you know what you'll need, let's go over a few essential tips for beginner sewers. Remember to start slow and be patient. Learning takes time. Don't get discouraged by mistakes. They are part of the process. Press your fabric. Ironing your fabric before cutting and pressing your seams as you sew makes a huge difference in the finished look of your project. Cut accurately. In the sewing world, the saying goes, measure twice, cut once. Take your time when cutting fabric according to the pattern. Accurate cutting leads to better finishing and neater projects. Don't be afraid to ask for help. There are tons of online communities, tutorials, and even local sewing groups where you can find answers to your question. Practice, practice, practice. Rome was not built in a day. The more you sew, the more comfortable and confident you'll become. So here you have it, your absolute beginner's guide to getting started with sewing. We've covered the basic tools and stitches, a brief introduction into sewing machines, and some easy first project ideas. Remember, everyone starts somewhere. Embrace the learning process, be patient with yourself, and most importantly, have fun. The world of sewing is vast and full of creative possibilities, and you've just taken your very first step into it. Thank you for joining me on Sew What? Keep stitching, keep creating, and keep that passion alive. I'll see you next time for more sewing inspiration.